very nice outside, although a little chilly. Thanks for coming. Tonight we're going to do a couple more egg dishes. A couple that are, well, the first one is nice and springy and get you through that asparagus that's soon going to be here. I know mine is popping up about 1 inch. And then the other one is just pickling quail eggs. I love pickles, so all kinds of different pickles, and little quail eggs are bite-sized, pop in your mouth, kind of a special treat. So, and they sell them here at Harmony, so you can get them by the dozen in a little pack. So they do have them for you guys to use. So we're gonna use some small jars and do them 2 different ways. And we're gonna get started on that first. Like Kate said, if you have any questions, please make sure that you type us a question, or I don't know if they can like raise their hand. I'm not totally familiar with Zoom. I don't use it a lot, but I've used it a few times.
Yep, we've got a Q&A section, and then they can always just unmute and ask along.
All right. So first we're going to I've got some water boiling, or about to boil, for our quail eggs to get them hard boiled. And what I like to do, because they're small and they don't take very long, I gather them all in, and you can even do it in like a spoon, or depending upon how many you're going to do. But I'm going to put 12 in my little basket here, my little strainer, so that when I get over there, I can just dip all 12 in, so they very evenly cook. So actually we might just do 10. I'm thinking 10 would fit in there. That guy's getting empty. All right. So I've got 10 here, but I'm actually going to do twice that because we're going to do 2 different kinds. So now I'm going to get another 10. So we're going to put 20 in. We're going to put them in for 9 minutes. 9 minutes on the dot. I might even go 8 because we don't have any ice here to ice them. I usually ice bath them right afterwards. So I'll probably go 8 with just the cold water. So I've got them all in my basket here, and I'm going to dip them in the water that is just boiling. All right. And then we are going to grab a timer and set it for 8 minutes. All right. Now, while those are going, we're going to get stuff ready for our jars. Let's see here. Actually, if you've got, one of the recipes we're doing today is with beet pickle juice. So I did have one. I've got some beets in there even. So you can add pieces of the beet into your eggs for extra color if you'd like. And otherwise, you just need the juice. So, you know, when all the beets are gone, what do you do with the juice? I don't know, some of you might drink it. I have thought about it, but I haven't drank it. So I'm just going to use a ½ cup of this and put it in my little jar. All right. So good. All right. I'm also going to do some cider vinegar. And actually, we need to get this hot. Normally, we would to kind of infuse your eggs. We're doing things a little bit quick tonight, so I'm just going to do. It's not even a quick pickle, but I may put it in a pan here and heat it up quick. But I'm just going to get it all in here and get my quantity so I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to do. Your recipe says 1½ cups of cider vinegar. I'm even going too much. I'm just going to do a ¼ cup. I'm going to muck this all up because we're just doing it quick and in tiny jars. So you guys are going to want to pick a bigger jar, probably a quart jar for these recipes, just so you get them right. And kosher salt. So the reason why we use kosher salt in pickling, you guys, is because The iodine in the regular salt is gonna make your things get weird that you pickle. So we always wanna use either a canning salt, which doesn't have iodine in it, or kosher salt, which also does not have iodine in it. I use kosher salt for most everything anyway. I don't even have iodine salt in my kitchen or my kitchen at home. So yeah. You get plenty of iodine and other things. If you got a nice healthy diet, you'll be okay. All right, got my salt in there. Oh, I was supposed to put sugar in there. We're gonna do a little sugar and salt. I am not paying attention. All right, brown sugar. We need a little sweet in there. All right. So there we've got that one ready. We're gonna stir that up in a minute here. We're gonna set that aside, and we need to leave room for our eggs. So they're actually probably gonna take up a lot more space than that. We'll heat this up in a second. The other one is regular vinegar. A little bit of regular vinegar. And then apple cider vinegar. I like apple cider vinegar because it has more flavor, a little bit more depth, you know. So I do a mix of the two. So a little bit of white and then some of the apple cider. And then we need a little salt again. And in this one, you can put other flavorings. So I'm going to shake a little bit of red pepper flakes. You can use fresh chilies if you'd like. You know, pickle those chilies. You can eat them too. I'm going to grab a little garlic clove. We're going to do thin slices. Put in there. You can do thin slices of onion. Just kind of anything you'd like to flavor it with. So I've done mango in there, slices of mango for a different flavor. It's kind of whatever you like. So I'm just going to do a garlic and chili. Oh, and whole peppercorns. We've always got to have some whole peppercorns in there as well. That's kind of a staple. So I'm going to put a few peppercorns in there. Our timer's about to go off in 1 minute. All right, so I've got both of my little liquids here, my beet liquid and my apple cider vinegar liquid. All right, I'm gonna grab a small pan. I am gonna heat these guys up slowly. I'm gonna do the beet one first. I can get rid of this for now. Because I'm gonna eat these later. Are any of you guys making these alongside us? That would be cool. Otherwise, later, give a shout out on YouTube or Facebook and let us know if you tried it out, how you liked it. Woo. All right. Okay, so those won't take long to heat up, probably about as long as our quail eggs have. Let's see, peeling quail eggs is kind of a chore. But there are some tricks to peeling quail eggs that really help. Quail eggs have a very fragile shell, so it breaks easily. You can actually even just crush them between your fingers and you'll feel like the egg's gonna pop open, but the shell cracks. The membrane is very tough. So when we get into these quail eggs, I'm gonna show you guys, you're gonna need to start at the bottom of the quail egg. You know how the quail egg is kind of bigger on the bottom and it's skinnier on the top. So there's an air bubble on the bottom of the quail egg. So that is where we're going to want to start. So we're going to start there. We're actually going to pop open the membrane and then peel the membrane off, and the shell actually just falls away in many, many, many little pieces. So kind of a tool. Also, if you guys ever cook with quail eggs, like you want to fry one, or I don't know why you want to scramble them, they're so cute, but if you can get a hold of a cigar cutter, instead of trying to crack these open because the membrane is so hard, get a hold of a cigar cutter. I know it's a weird thing. I don't even know where to find them except for I know the quail egg guy knows where to find them, but I'm sure you can find them on Amazon. And you use the cigar cutter to cut off the top of the quail egg where it's skinnier. That cigar cutter creates a hole, and then you can just dump your quail egg out rather than trying to, and I just fumbled my quail egg, try to get it open because it's too hard. Like it crumbles into a million pieces, and it's really, really, really difficult. I gotta wash my hair. And plus you get shell in it when you crack it, just like I did now, even though it's on the floor. You get all kinds of shell in there, and it's no good. So, all right, the timer stopped, so I'm gonna take these off. It did not go off. And my hot liquids are simmering. I'm gonna get this over here into the cool water. Okay, we're just gonna cool those off a little bit. Oh, that was fun. All right. That's okay.
Better late than never.
That's right, better late than never. Also, depending upon how you like we're pickling quail eggs, but if you're gonna want something that's soft boiled, you're gonna want to go with about 4 to 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes is the key if you're gonna get them in an ice bath. Just so you guys know, soft boil is kind of fun. And sometimes it's hard to experiment with expensive eggs if you don't have to. So 5 minutes is good. And like I said, 9 minutes on this if you're gonna get it in a nice bath. Okay, here we go. So, like I said, I don't know if you guys can see, I have it upside down. So the bottom is on the top, it's bigger, it's like a regular egg, and the tip's down there. So we are gonna crack into the bottom, and actually you'll feel it kind of crush, and use your fingers to pinch and peel the membrane. So it's a little bit different than doing a chicken eggs. You're really just and the membrane does, it just peels right off. I wish you guys were here to see. Can I get in there? How close to him can I get? See you guys? It peels off. You saw that. It's kind of strange. Whereas like eggs like flake off. See how that's peeling? All right. So top membrane. There's going to be little bits of shell everywhere. You're going to want to do a little rinse of your egg. Get all those little pieces of shell off. Although it's not going to hurt you if you eat them. All right. You're going to bring these over. All right. So I'm just going to start plopping them right into the jars here. And bottom, pop that open. I got close, I got to show them. I hope they saw. So sometimes you're gentle, no, you can kind of rub them between your hands and loosen it up too. That'll help go faster. feels right off like that. Sometimes just a little, that's strange. I just got some myself. So yeah, a little bit different than a chicken egg. But once you figure that out, it actually doesn't take long. So one of my favorite things to do with little quail eggs is devil them. I don't know if anybody's been into the restaurant, but our little deviled eggs are pretty popular. And everybody says, well, it's because they don't want to do it themselves. Because it's going to take too much time. And it takes a little bit of time, but like I said, it's fun. It's an interesting little appetizer for sure. And they are definitely different than chicken eggs. They are buttery and silky and kind of fun. So you might get hooked on them. All right. So if you haven't noticed that Harmony has quail eggs, take a look in the case. They're there. If you're doing something special for date night or, I don't know, your girlfriends, I'm not sure who's all on. Definitely try out the quail eggs. All right, and these two recipes for pickling, there are many, many recipes out there. Especially for this kind of a quick pickle, where we're just going to do this and we're going to put them in the refrigerator for about a week. It depends upon how you like your pickled eggs. I know I don't like mine too pickled, like too, I don't know, I want to say rubbery, but that's not nice. I like mine after about a week. They've absorbed enough flavor and they're fun. Sometimes not even a week, so it just depends. Depends upon how long you want to wait before you try them out. See what you like, and then you'll want to use these within about 3 to 4 months. So if you do a big batch or whatever it might be, you definitely want to. They'll be good for a long time, but you do want to get them eaten up. Otherwise, they just kind of do get really stiff and not as fun to eat. So, but there are many recipes out there. Like I said, you guys can, use the cider pickle and put in there whatever you would like as flavorings. It's really just the ratio of vinegars and salt on that. Sometimes pickling, there's salt and sugar. It just really depends. So, like sweet, like salty, but like vinegary. I know my quick pickle recipe for like onions and stuff has salt and sugar, so, and water. We're not using any water in any of these recipes, but many recipes out there. The beet pickle is also fun because it gives it color. So that's really it gives it a little bit of beet flavor on the outside, but it gives it that pink color. And if you're gonna do something special with it, when you take it out, make sure you dry the egg off before you cut into it, if you're gonna cut into it, because then the color won't bleed into the yolk, which is kind of fun. That keeps that yolk really clean. But otherwise, if you leave it wet, it will bleed into the yolk, and it won't be as, I don't know, stark looking with the yolk and the pink of the egg, the white. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on quail eggs?
Feel free to either talk or use the Q&A, whichever you prefer.
Trying to hurry. Feel these little buggers. I'm pretty efficient at this. I do it quite a bit, so this one's gonna come. Oh, yay! Pretty awesome. All right, just a few more, and then we'll dump our pickling liquid in, and then we're just gonna let them sit. At the end of class, we'll pull out one out of the beet jar, and we'll dry it off and cut it open. It will have already started to color. So that beet juice works pretty quickly.
Do you use some beet juice when you guys dye your Easter eggs? You should mention if you haven't already. You guys did quail Easter eggs.
Yeah, so this year my family did, I let my kids dye the quail eggs. They turned out really beautiful. It was really fun. They look like really big jelly beans that were very colorful, and they're very dyeable, even though they're, you know, flecked and brown. And I've tried dyeing chicken eggs before that are brown, and it didn't work as well as these quail eggs did. But I think it's because the membrane or the eggshell is so like brittle and stuff. It just, they colored really, really well. So it was really beautiful. So of course, yeah, you could do dye your quail eggs with beet juice too. There's all kinds of different natural dyes to use. A lot of fun. So cabbage, turmeric for yellow. There's all kinds of things out there natural to dye your eggs with. But the quail egg dyeing was very, very fun. They were kind of exciting and different because they all look different. They have different flecks on them, and it was pretty cool. Kids really enjoyed it. All right, 2 more. These are peeling really easily. They're actually looking really nice. Unlike the chicken eggs, I haven't steamed these yet. That's because that's my chicken egg go-to is steaming, just because they peel the best that way. But these seem to be just fine as far as just being dipped in the water bath. Like I said, get your water boiling first, and then put them in for 9 minutes. We don't want to overdo them. They'll get all green and funky. I don't know if you guys know that when you get that little ring of green on your eggs when you hard boil them, that means you hard boiled them too long.
Is it 9 minutes for any egg or just quail eggs?
No, just the quail eggs. Yep, the bigger eggs take longer. So, like I said, my go-to on the chicken eggs is doing a 20-minute, very strange, steam bath. But I put my room temperature water in the bottom, I put my steam basket in, I put my eggs in, I put it on the stove on medium heat and 20-minute timer, and they turn out perfect every time. I struggled for a long time with that. Especially the farm fresh eggs, because the membrane seems to really want to stick to the farm fresh eggs. So if you buy like your local eggs here in Harmony, the fresher they are, the more that membrane wants to stick. So it makes it super hard sometimes to peel, you know, and they start to like the peels part of the egg off, and it, yeah. So like I said, that's my go-to for chicken eggs. But these quail eggs, just get your water to a boil, dip them in for 9 minutes, and then get them out and get them on a nice bath, or do the 8-minute thing like I did. All right, so we're going to pour in our liquid. So we just want to make sure it's hot and that our salt or sugar has melted. Perfect. There we go. Ooh, they're bathing in there. It looks so pretty. All right. And then here's our other mixture. Perfect. A piece of garlic that can be mine. All right. There we go. You need this one. I'm also going to get our water going for our next day, which is the post day.
You'll be shipping out of the fridge.
So that's our next thing. We're going to do a poached egg. And it would be fun if you guys are here to try this. So I encourage you to try it at home. Poached egg sounds really scary. I'm actually going to cover these and set them aside. And there's lots of different poaching cups and all kinds of things, but you really don't need any fancy tools. You just need a little pot of water, you need a spoon. I didn't grab a spoon. Just swirl that water, and then you need your egg in a little bowl. So I'm going to grab a small bowl. Here, perfect. So you just want to get your water going, and you want to get it to be just to the point of a simmer. So you want to see all the little bubbles on the bottom. You don't want it to be a rolling boil. Put your egg in there when it's boiling, it will just boil apart. But we're gonna wait for that water to get going, and then I'll show you guys how to do that. All right, and in the meantime, we are gonna get a little bit of asparagus ready for our dish. And this is just kind of a fun springy dish. You know, we want to eat a little bit lighter in the spring because we've been eating all that heavy food over the winter. So in spring, asparagus is in season. So it's always fun to use, and there's so many ways to use it. So I'm actually just going to, asparagus that you pick or get or buy, you want to take off the bottom part generally because it's a little woodier than the rest. And a good way to find that spot is to kind of bend it right at the bottom, and wherever it naturally breaks is kind of where it's then tender. So you can do it that way. Some people just chop it off. Just depends on what you have time for, but I just kind of find that I would just work it off. These are probably pretty good. All right. Snap those off. Today we're just gonna pan saute these. I like them roasted, a little bit of garlic and olive oil. We're just not gonna turn on the oven for just that. Throw them on the grill, rubbed in a little bit of olive oil, and then toss them with a little garlic afterwards, because you don't want to burn your garlic on the grill. It's gonna taste really bitter. So toss them in a little minced garlic afterwards. Yeah, those are fun ways to do asparagus and add a little bit of more flavor to your dish. So I'm just going to set those aside because we're not quite ready for those. And I thought asparagus and the poached egg would also be fun for a little sauce. Sauces are fun. They don't have to be hard. But saucier is like just a kind of like a salsa, but like a French salsa. And you really can use whatever herbs you like in it. I'm just going to use a little bit of dried herbs, but do use fresh because it does make a big difference. It's very nice to have fresh herbs. And what we need for that today, let's use a little bit of Roma tomato.
I'm just going to move those bowls so they can see.
Yeah, oh, yes. That's good. Thank you. All right. And I'm just going to cut the top off. And I'm using Roma because I don't want a lot of really juicy, seedy parts. And actually, I'm going to, if there are any seeds, I'm going to take them out. So here's actually a pretty dry piece of tomato. We want the tomato. We don't want all the juice or the seeds. It's just not going to go with our sauce. So Romas you want to use for pico de gallo, or these kinds of things where it's kind of like a little salsa. We just take the seeds out. And I slice the top off, and then I slice them from bottom to top. Little thin slices. And just take out the middle. At least the seed in the middle. All right. And then we're going to take one of the pieces and we're just going to do thin strips. It takes lots of practice to do fine little squares. But when you're making a small sauce, it definitely makes a difference not to have a big chunks. So I'm just going to do turn my strips, and then I'm going to chop them so they're little squares, fine dice. All right, and that'll make a nice little sauce. Having a nice sharp knife helps a lot. So I oftentimes go to friends' houses and they want me to cook for them, and when I get out their knife, I've learned to carry mine in my vehicle mostly, except for at work. And it's dull. It's very, very hard to do a fine dice with a dull knife. So if you don't have a way to sharpen your knives, get one. A dull knife is very dangerous. And you really should only need to sharpen your knife one to two times a year, really. And the key is, in between uses, you want to make sure you have a honing steel, which comes with most knife kits and whatnot. It's got a handle and it's got a big rod. It's got lines in it. And you use that honing steel to hone your knife in between times when you use it. That is what keeps a nice edge on your knife after you've sharpened it. So there's no way you're going to get these little tiny squares with a dull knife. All right. Okay, so we've got a little bit of tomato in there. Finely diced. All right, along with that, we're going to get a little bit of shallots. Check my water, it's getting close. We're also going to mince that. So mince is smaller than a small dice, or fine dice, sorry. Small dice, fine dice, mince. We really want the flavor of this shallot, and we don't want you to feel like you're biting into a big piece of it. Because, you know, it's kind of oniony, garlicky, it's delicious, but we don't want it to be the star in this dish. All right. So, I wish you guys were here. It's so hard. There's two ways. I've just got it cut in half. You can cut strips and then cut those strips again. Oh yes, I keep putting the bowl in the way. Thank you. Or you can make kind of your little slits in it from top to bottom without cutting the hole, into the whole top, so it stays together, which is what I'm doing right now. And again, you're not going to be able to accomplish this without a sharp knife, and so it's staying together, but I can see my cuts in there. And then I turn it and slice little pieces out so that I've got a really fine little dice on there. I have to do some up close YouTube videos, Kate.
Yeah, we are.
Actually, my daughter says I need a YouTube channel, but all right. A little bit of shallot in our bowl. This is just going to give us a little bit more flavor on our egg that we're doing. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in there. I'm actually just going to smash it and then kind of give it a little chop. We can do a rocking chop. We can put our hand on the end of your knife and then go up and down. Just to kind of get this minced. We don't need it perfect squares. I'm not doing very much because I'm just making a little bit. And then we'll get that in the bowl. All right. And then I'm going to put in my herbs. So I'm getting little bubbles in my water. Like I said, fresh herbs would be best. But in a pinch, can always use a little bit of dried. I just put basil and chives in there. And then I'm going to do some lemon. A little bit of acid, which will be fun with our egg yolk. Right? And actually, if you roast your asparagus in the oven, I just dropped a seed in there. Putting some lemon zest over it would be good. So you can zest this lemon before and use it on your asparagus as well. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of olive oil, or if some people, I don't know, feel like olive oil is a very strong flavor, you really can use any oil of your choice. I've also got a little bit of avocado oil. I'm gonna use that. It's really benign and kind of silky, so I'm gonna use that. And then a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Oh, turn my water down, so we're gonna do the egg next. Don't want it to be too hot. A little bit of balsamic in there, a little bit more acid and depth of flavor, and a little bit of salt. I'm just gonna put a pinch of salt over the top. And then we're gonna mix this up. We are done. We are going to spoon this lovely mixture over our poached egg. Good to go. All right. I'm actually going to quick saute this asparagus, and then we'll do the final egg and put that together. So I am going to use a little bit of olive oil. This won't take long.
Turn the camera.
My recommendation is don't cook your asparagus until it's limp. Leave a little bit of crunch. We want it to still feel like it's fresh. Actually, asparagus is really good raw too. I like it raw a lot. I will be caught many a time eating it right out of the garden. As I pick it, it's actually super sweet, straight out of the garden. So you can put it in salads raw. You can use it like you would carrots and dip it. Great. So I'm gonna throw my asparagus in there, put a little bit of salt over it. You hear it sizzling a little bit. And I'm actually gonna throw a little one smashed garlic clove, just a little one. You don't have to mince it or anything. We can throw a smashed one in there, and it gives the flavor to the oil. They're cooking. The water is up again.
You want me to get the eggs out?
What's that?
You want me to get the eggs out?
Yeah, please. I should have actually got the eggs out in the beginning. So one tip I will tell you guys is that it's easier to poach an egg and you're going to get more consistent results if you take your eggs out and let them come to room temperature. So I totally wasn't thinking about that. But yeah, if you know you're going to poach 3, 4, 5 eggs, go ahead and take them out and set them on the counter while you're preparing everything else. It's not gonna ruin that we didn't, but it goes a little bit quicker, and it's easier. So. And once you learn how to poach eggs, and you're a pro, you'll be doing it for your family or your loved one or yourself in the morning.
I have never managed to poach an egg, so I'm very interested in learning this part.
Yeah, super easy. All right. Just don't want those guys to burn. Turn it down just a little bit. All right. So our water has got bubbles on the one edge. That's totally fine. I'm just gonna turn up a tiny bit. As long as they're tiny bubbles and it's not a rolling boil, it's totally cool. I'm gonna crack 1 egg, and I would use a smaller bowl than this, or maybe
Yeah,
I actually have a pot cereal bowl. Oh, well, I have a pot too, or pot cup. Sure. So something small. So I've got a half a cup here to use. Yeah, our small, prep bowl. There. Crack that egg into it. So yeah, you don't want to crack it directly into the water. And I'm actually gonna switch the asparagus in this. I don't know if that matters. All right, and then we're gonna get our spoon. So you got your egg ready. Got your spoon. You're gonna want to swirl the water clockwise. And if you wanted to do it the other way, it wouldn't matter, but it would just change where you're going to slip it into, your egg. So you want to slip it into the stream along with the stream, not against the stream, if that makes sense. So if I'm doing swirling clockwise, I'm going to put it in the top of my pan, and it's going to swirl right to the middle, and I wish you guys could see this, and it's just swirling around. You see, Kate?
I will.
It's swirling around in there and slowing down. You're gonna have to baby it a little bit.
Yep, it's hard to do this.
It is hard. So he's kind of settled in the middle there. I'm gonna try this asparagus out. I think we're good on that. So now, if you give me a slotted spoon, you're gonna need a slotted spoon. So we're gonna give it a couple of minutes. Usually it's about 2 minutes, and then you're gonna wanna check it. So it shouldn't be stuck to the bottom, because part of the swirling is also so that it doesn't just fall to the bottom and stick to the bottom of the pan. And you're gonna wanna baby that water to make sure it's not really boiling. Just give it a couple minutes, and then we'll pull it up and check and see how jiggly it is. So if it's super jiggly, you can kind of see when like the white of the egg is not quite set. We don't want that. We want to wait until the white of the egg is set, but the yolk is still, like this is still super jiggly. We're gonna give it a little bit of time. Here's all. Oh, this is making me hungry. I haven't eaten yet. You guys have any questions on poaching eggs? It really is very simple. Like I said, it's mostly just making sure that you don't have the water boiling, but that the water is nice and hot. Swirling the water, that it swirls the egg right to the middle and keeps it moving for a little bit while that bottom part sets. In frying things, it's the same thing where like kind of dip it in and then let it go. You want a little bit of kind of coating on there so it doesn't stick. And then just checking it until it's done. Now, it does kind of stink that you have to do them one at a time. You can't swirl it and drop a whole bunch of eggs in there at once. But these actually hold pretty well on a plate. Sometimes I put down a paper towel to soak up some of the water. They actually hold well. All right. Yeah, we're getting there. It's almost there. About 30 more seconds on that. And can I get a plate? Okay, yes. So try this at home. Try it again. Message me, email me, something. Find me on Facebook. If you have trouble, go to YouTube channel, go to Harmony. You know, I'm sure you guys can. Okay, so I am gonna see if I can bring this close to the camera. So this one is nicely done. So So it's a little jiggly, but not, you know, the white is set. You can see that the yolk and it's nice and plump in there. All right, super easy. It's not bad at all. All right, so now I'm gonna put my asparagus here. One thing I love with cooking is color, so I love it. We're gonna have some green. We're gonna have this nice stark white egg, and like I said, it kind of get a little bit of water, so it's always nice to put them on a towel at first. I'm gonna wipe off my plate a little bit, got a lot of water on it. Because there's still water in the crevices. All right, wipe out some of that water. Super easy. And then now, got our beautiful sauce here. Complete it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that sauce really, it's really the ticket there. All right, I'll bring this up so you guys can see it. So this is the fun little weeknight meal or breakfast, special breakfast. Actually, doesn't take long at all. Got your asparagus, you can pop it in the oven while you're poaching your egg, and if you already have your sauce made, it's super easy. So there we go. Super tasty. All right, now let's add a little bit more flair to the plate. Oh, thought I shut that off. Sorry about that, you guys. All right, now let's cut into one of our fun pickled quail eggs. Just because I want to show you guys the color on this. So like I said, you want to leave these, put these in the refrigerator, taste them, you know, halfway into the week. So, see how you like them. Wait another, you know, taste them at 1 week, see how you like them. You can kind of figure out what consistency you like them at, but they do get more pickled as time goes on. Woo! All right. Spoon this guy out.
Oh, wow.
All right, yeah. Let's see if I can come up and show you guys how pink it is already. So look at that. Very pink. Very, very pink. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna get a paper towel to dry it off because if you want the impact of having that yolk very clean, when you cut it open, you don't want to drag any of the liquid through. So we're gonna dry it off. How you impress your friends. All right, so dry it off. And then now we're gonna cut it open. Let's see how far it's gone. And so right now, it's just got a very, very thin layer of pink. And the longer you leave that egg in the liquid, the more that pink penetrates into the white. So yeah, but look, that was quick. And actually, if you wanted to eat these right away, you can. And you just wanted to do the pink for the effect, totally fine. So,
That's awesome.
all right. Here we go, you guys. That's it.
All right.
Fun things to do with eggs. There are so many more things. There's so many things to do with eggs, and eggs are a great source of protein. They're a quick cooking source of protein. Yeah, eggs are a great thing. I love eggs. You guys have,
spring.
yeah, exactly, very spring. So, all right, any questions? Oh, very exciting.
Yeah, we've got time. We'll stick around here for a few more minutes in case anybody's got
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, and like I said, if you have any troubles poaching, I know I only did one. Should probably do a up close YouTube video on that one. But it's not hard. It's very easy. And then, oh, actually, we got to show the real trick to impress your friends too, you guys, is to cut that egg open so that it then drips out that nice yolky sauce. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to have to take a picture of that for our class Facebook albums.
Okay, yeah. No, this is a fun plate right here. All right, thank you guys for joining me and Kate today.
Yeah, thank you. I'll pop in here.
Hope you learned something.
Thank you all very much.
And we're here if you guys have questions.
Yep.
Thank you.
Our next class next week will be homemade root beer. So that will be next Wednesday. Don't forget to sign up, and you can always watch this later. We've got some Q&A. Let's see what people are saying. Thank you. This was fun. We'll try both recipes. Awesome. Well, thank you, Christina and Mardell.
Awesome. Give me a picture. That's nice. All right.
All right. Anybody else? I'm going to have to stop recording. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you very much, Amber. Yay!
Thank you.